Hey guys, how's it going? It is such a gorgeous morning out. I'm still in this little like flannel piece and it is so nice. We just had rain all morning long and so I'm getting out much later than I actually wanted to get out, but I don't mind because we got to enjoy the morning full of rain, and then we went and got coffee this morning, which is something that we don't do very often, but it has been so nice to do it. We've actually done it 3 days in a row. I think this is gonna be it though, because it's half-hour away to go get a Starbucks coffee. So, of course, we've had to pick up some pumpkin spice lattes because they just came out with it, and I have enjoyed it thoroughly. But this is gonna be the last time because they are so not good for me. Anyways, the plan for today is to just do some like low maintenance things, enjoy this cooler weather, and like get out in the garden. I have to plant a Brunera. Forgot the word. I have to plant a Brunera that I pulled out of a container, and then I need to pull out a petunia that has spider mites on it. I got to treating it super late and now it's just a little leggy, and honestly we're just at the end of the season that I might as well just pull it out anyways. And then also the Sunbelievables, I think that's what they're called up front, whatever they're called, Sunbelievables, Suncredible, I think it's Unbelievable. So I'm gonna pull those out also. They reached their prime about 2 weeks ago and they're kind of like on a steady like decline now, which is fine because they've been so fabulous. I'll show you guys those up front. So that's the plan, is just kind of like pull some things, plant that Brunera that I didn't get planted yesterday that I needed to get planted, and I guess we'll see what else needs to be done around the property. So let's go. All right, so this is the petunia that I need to take care of. You can see how leggy it is. I didn't give it a mid-season haircut, but I did this container, and now it has spider mite damage all along it. We have been treating it, but I think I'm just kind of over it. It's leggy. It's a little too late in the season for like a good haircut and to be able to get another flush. And if I cut it back, it's still gonna have all the spider mite damage anyways. So I think I'm just gonna pull this one, which is, it's okay. It'll be fine, I think. And then I need to plant this Brunera that I literally just pulled out and I set right here because I was gonna plant it, and then I never planted it. But I've got this one right here, and I'm going to pop it in the ground right here in this little hole. So then I have a little trio of Brunera right here. And this is a variegated one, and I'm not sure I love it. This also probably isn't the best spot for it, but this is where they got planted. So they really probably needed somewhere that was a little bit more like deeper shade. That's where they do the absolute best for us in my zone, is with like deep shade. And this has not been deep shade. This is like, it gets a little bit of like sun, like midday sun, and then it gets protection in the afternoon and in the morning. So it's probably the wrong amount of sun for it, especially being variegated. You know, white on anything variegated just tends to burn. You can see there is the burn on the variegation. Like that's all that burns is the white. So I love variegated, but these probably should have been planted somewhere that was a much deeper shade, like very dark canopy of like woodland shade. So we're just gonna leave them here because I don't want to transplant them, but I do want to just add the third one in right here. Terrible choice, but that's what's, I guess, gonna happen. It'd probably do a lot better if I found somewhere else to put it, but I'm not going to. So, you know, it's life. And then we're gonna come up to the front yard. I do want to show you guys this. Look at this coleus that's in here. That is the wasabi. I have a water drop on my phone. Sorry. That is the wasabi coleus, and that is just like 2 plants in here. And you guys, they reach the ground and they go all the way up. The coleus from ground to the top, that's right there, probably 5'6", 5'7". I'm 5'9". Comes up pretty high on me. So this is the wasabi coleus, and this is what I'm used to it doing, is like being full and lush, and the ones that are in the side yard have not done that. No clue why. Anyways, we're going to the front. I'm getting distracted. So these right here are the Sunbelievables, and they are going to get pulled. They're definitely at the end of their season, which is fine. So each one of these like dead heads right here was a flower, and it produced so many blooms. They say that it produces about 1,000 blooms in a growing season, and I'm sure I believe that. On camera it actually looks really good still, so this is rather unfortunate, but in real life you see the like dead blooms. Like this is like a whole patch right here of spent blooms. So they need to get pulled. So my plan is to come through and harvest as many of these that look good, and I'm going to do just a huge bouquet of these guys. So I want to basically strip the plant down of their flowers that they have and do massive bouquet, and then we'll get these guys pulled. I'm still going to leave the zinnias because the zinnias look so good right now, but these, I would love to repeat this as a drift somewhere else in the garden next year because these were so fabulous. So I have a total of 5 of those. There's one right here. This one is looking the absolute worst. This was one of the first ones that I planted. And then I have a Cosmo right here, and it is full of spider mites. You can see all that damage right there. Spider mite damage. I have water. I swear I didn't spill my coffee. And then there's one right there that I think I'm gonna leave because it's still compact. It was planted last, and it actually still looks pretty good. So we're gonna probably just leave one of them, but I am gonna pull this Cosmo because it's just full of spider mites, and I don't want that around the garden. So you can see there's a lot of like dead blooms on here. There are definitely some that are still coming along, like there's another bloom right there, and there's still some that are peeking through that are still growing, but I'm ready for change. I'm ready for these to get pulled out, which is funny because we're coming into fall, and for me, sunflowers just scream fall time. These have been so gorgeous though, and I really would love to do this again in the backyard by the apple espaliers next year. I think that would be so gorgeous. So yeah, let's make a big flower arrangement out of these. I just think that would be so gorgeous. Maybe I will try and make a couple of arrangements. I'll try to do like one big one if I have enough flowers, and then maybe a couple small ones, and I can take them over to the neighbors because I always love bringing flowers over to my next door neighbors. I think I've changed my mind, and we're not going to plant that Brunnera where I wanted to plant it because that's just like, I'm basically killing that plant. I have a Brunnera right there, and it looks so good. And it looks so good because it gets deep shade. Like sunlight does not touch it right there. So I'm thinking that I should figure out a way to plant it back here somewhere. And then it can kind of like take over in that area because I love Brunnera. I love the way they look. And they do really well for us in like shaded areas. I think this one is like, is it Jack of Diamonds or Jack Frost or something like that? That one's a Proven Winners one. And so I think I just need to be smart and plant it somewhere that I know it's actually going to survive. So we'll kind of tuck it in this bed somewhere actually. Back there. It's right there. It should fill that space in pretty nicely, and it'll fill in that hole right there, and should get about the same size as that beautiful one right there. How gorgeous is that going to be to have a Brunnera and then a variegated Brunnera? Love that. And then, because I get questions every time about this fountain right here, this is the Campania fountain. I picked this up locally at the plant barn. If your local place carries Campania, I would ask them to maybe bring this one in because this little bubbler has been so much fun. We do have to refill it every 2 days, and we did have to go in with fountain putty, or actually we went in with the Flex Seal stuff, and we sprayed the inside of it with Flex Seal to make sure that there was no leaks or anything like that. But this has just been a like total joy to have here in the like seating area. So let's go toss these weeds. Right there. And let's get to cutting back that petunia now. That is crazy. That is 4 of the Sunbelievables and 1 single Cosmo plant right there. And I tried to get every single bloom off that I could. The ones that are still on there, they were either too short, too far gone, or they didn't look good. So I just didn't grab them, but I grabbed a whole bucket full. So look at that. Isn't that stunning? A whole bucket full of these to play with. I grabbed some that weren't quite open, ones that just started to open, ones that were actually spent. I just thought they were still really pretty. And then I also grabbed these poppy heads right here. So these are my oriental poppies right here. And I always let them go to seed because they have the longest stems ever. And I love using the seed heads in fall time flower arrangements. So up front, here we are. Pulled the one out. I did decide to leave this one because it's still performing pretty well. It's actually the smallest out of all of them. So I'm just going to leave that one and let it continue to do its thing. That's gone. So I've got a hole there. And then over here, holy cow, that is crazy. So this is empty now and I need to figure out some fall planting, some things that need to go in here so I can fill that out because it just feels free, but it feels very sad. So we're gonna have to do something about that. So let's go to the back now and make those flower arrangements because those are gonna be so good. I probably need to find something green, maybe some of this right here to just kind of tuck in. I wanted to pull these out anyways. This is the forsythia, so maybe this would be something good that I could just tuck in. I think I'm just gonna grab a couple of these branches just really quickly. So I went ahead and I went around the property, found a few things. So we have the sunflowers, and then I have some mahogany splendor hibiscus. It's one of my favorites. It's a Japanese maple replacement right here. They look like Japanese maple leaves. So I love that. It's just an annual. And then I went and grabbed some basil, and it smells so good just to add like a nice smell to the flower arrangement. I grabbed a couple of the wasabi coleus, and then this here is some forsythia. So we're just gonna make a couple arrangements. I have 2 vases there and 1 there, and then I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm just going to make a grid. So I'll make a grid with the floral tape right here, and then I do a ring around it so my floral tape doesn't fall off, and we'll go ahead and make those. I might put some poppy seed heads in mine. I try to just use these for me. Super selfish. I just really admire the way that they look, and so I try to just use them for me. Selfish. But let's get these made. Here we are, 3 flower arrangements deep. I've got the front one, which is the shortest, and I threw a couple of the poppy stems in for me. And then this one over here is the like basil mahogany splendor, mostly flowers in this one. I really wanted this one to have the most flowers because this is gonna go to one of my neighbors who her favorite flower is sunflower. And then this one over here has basil, the wasabi coleus, and then I don't want to say just a few because it has a lot of flowers in it. So this is a little bit different than what I normally do. Normally I lean very heavy on foliar growth and then lightly rely on flowers, but these are very flower heavy. And then this one right here is going to back up against a wall. So I made it a very flat arrangement. Let me try to move some of these so you guys can see. So this right here is a very flat arrangement. You can see it's like a flat back, and then it's full when you look at it like towards the front. And so I wanted this one to be able to like be pushed up against a wall, and then it looks like a full arrangement. And then these ones, because I don't know where they're gonna go, are full all the way around. And you'll probably notice that things like the coleus right here look a little bit sad, and the mahogany slender hibiscus look a little bit sad. The basil is also looking a little sad, and that's because I did harvest these kind of midday. I should have came out here and harvested these this morning, but I wasn't planning on doing flower arrangements until last minute. So it's okay though. I'm gonna bring these inside and let them cool down for a couple hours, and then they should be totally perked back up and be able to go over to the neighbor's house. So these will just come in the AC and be able to kind of relax for a couple hours before they go to their final home. I love to make flower arrangements, and so to be able to just make 3 kind of big ones, one for me, which will be the smallest one, and then the 2 for the neighbors, which one's gonna go over to Ashley and Mason, and then the other one is going to go to our neighbors right here who have the rooster, and she's the one who loves the sunflowers, so she's gonna get the one with the more flowers in it. It just feels nice to be able to do that. I really missed having the cut flower garden this year. If you guys were here last year, during this time, I had the entire back lawn was a cut flower garden, and it was magical. It was so much fun. It was so much work, and I really, really miss it. So this winter, I'm gonna turn the vegetable garden into my own micro cut flower garden so I can do this whenever I want, and I can do smaller flower arrangements. So I think that that's going to be it for this video. We got Brunera planted, the spider mites, some of the plants moved, and we got the Sunbelievables pulled, which was really sad because they were so good. I will be putting those plants in my garden again. I mean, they were amazing. If you have a chance to find them in your garden, or if you have a chance to find them, put them in your garden. They were so cool. Big impact. And that was just a couple of plants. That was 5 plants up front, and they gave me thousands of flowers this year. I already made like multiple flower arrangements with just those plants alone. So highly recommend those plants. I will be putting them again maybe next year. I was talking to Brent about putting it in this long bed right here with the espalier. I think that would be really pretty. They want full sun, like as much sun as you can give them. Give them a good amount of water while they're establishing, and then you can cut back on water. I didn't cut back on water, so they did get a good amount of water, but they were in very well draining soil. So that's the other thing, is they need well draining soil and full sun, like hot full sun. That is the hottest spot on our property. It gets morning to the very end of the day, full sun, and it's mostly gravel there. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for visiting our garden, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.